What's up, guys? In this episode today, we're going to be going over startup valuations and what the government isn't deciding to tell you. Cue the intro. So guys, like I said before, right, we're going to be talking about the wild west of startup valuations and why it's important, why you should know what your valuation is, what a valuation is, and how the overall market is going to impact how these are conducted. Now, before we get to the meat and the potatoes, what is a valuation? Well, startup valuation, simply put, is just the process of determining how much your startup is worth. Now, with that being said, it's a vital part of attracting investments, issuing shares, and planning for growth. It's not just a number that you see on the screen of how much your beautiful baby is worth, but it's about the potential, the market opportunity, and the team's ability to execute. So guys, on the screen here, I just want to do a very important case study of a company that you probably know called AirBnb. Now, as you can see, they started out in 2011, well before $10 million, then going through what's called Series B, Series F, and then they hit what's called a J curve, which you want to see at some point for their initial public offering price going public. Now, if you have any questions about this, you can feel free to go to my YouTube video that I actually already made about this. So everything's going to look a little bit different in their life cycle, but I want to go on the early stage side, right? Anything from pre-seed to Series A, because I believe that's actually very, very important. So if we go over to what the valuations are, because everything's going to have a median that you weigh your startup against. According to AngelList, right, the latest pre-seed to Series A post-money valuations. Pre-seed, we have 9 million, which is in the 50th percentile, down from 10 million in May. 16 million for seed, which is down from 20 million in early May. And Series A is about 70 million, up from 68 million in early May. Now, what influences valuations and what should you be on the lookout for? Well, the thing about this is it's influenced by a lot of things. So first of all, we're going to be talking about rising inflation because things cost money and those costs go up over time. Rising interest rates coming from the central exchanges and banks, and overall political and economic trends. I just want to give you a very, very popular example, right? COVID-19 shifted the whole startup market. Post COVID-19, people are just dumping money into startups into the overinflated market. But as you see, there's actually some big companies that either their valuations went down when the market correction happened, or they just outright went bankrupt. In fact, in the years following COVID, about 3,000 venture capital backed startups actually went down and through the tank through big market correction. So when it comes to these type of things, we see changes in what's called perceived optimism when people dump money into the market. Now, why does the market determine and these economic things determine what goes on? Well, this also drives to a very important what's called KPI, key performance indicator in revenue, right? So this is pretty much, so revenue is the total amount of income your company generates from sales of goods and services before it gets subtracted. Now, why is this number important? Well, when it comes to early stage startups and things like that, it's kind of hard to come by to get early what's called financial traction, right? This is evidence of your startup getting going, you know. MVPs, which is minimal viable products, customers, all these other things. So when you get any type of revenue, investors, what they're going to do, they're going to forecast it and see if it works. So what I have on the screen here is a very popular method to value startup called the venture capital method. So let's walk through this together. So first, what they're going to do, they're going to calculate the terminal value, right? And that's estimated value times the profit margin and the PE ratio. Keep in mind, right? We're not going to go in depth. I'm just showing you that revenue plays a part in it. So the terminal value is about $60 million. Now, the pre-money valuation is pretty much what your startup is going to be worth before the investment. So once again, I'll make a whole nother video about this. I just want to show you. So we got the pre-money valuation of about $2 million. That's pretty much going to be the case on that one. And any other investment that they have, they're going to calculate it into what's called the post-money valuation. But keep in mind, revenue is also impacted by inflation as well, because money costs more over time, and then it might cost the founder in order to be strapped because of more capital intensive resources. Other admin notes as well. Valuations for every sector is going to look a little bit different, right? For example, B2B SaaS is going to be a lot less what's called capital intensive then space tech, health tech. Every sector is going to have their own median valuations and all these things. Now, keep in mind, as these things change, like the literal seasons, you might want to go on things like Carta and AngelList to stay abreast about how you stack up in all these different areas. And to be quite honest with you, I just kind of want to put this episode out a little bit ad hoc because honestly, I was just really looking at this on the news one time, and I thought it was rather interesting. So guys, with that being said, I really hope that you enjoyed this insight on valuations. And this was a little bit of a shorter episode, but I really hope you join me for the next one. Peace.